Hey, what's up, baseball fans? Anthony with Bleacher Bums Gaming, and we are back for start number 35 in our 1969 Fergie Jenkins payoff pitch replay. And today, Fergie and the Cubs welcome the explosive Cincinnati Reds, led by Pete Rose, to Wrigley Field. And quick update on the replay. In real life, at this point in time, Fergie was 17-11 with an ERA of 3. 252 innings pitched, 215 hits given up, 59 walks, 224 strikeouts, and he had allowed 22 home runs. In the replay, he's faring a little bit better at 22-9, a 2.08 ERA, 272 innings pitched, 195 hits surrendered, 40 walks, and just like in real life, 224 strikeouts and 16 home runs allowed in the replay. So in this game, played on August 28, 1969, the Cubs were victorious 3-1 over the Reds, and that set their record in games that Fergie started at 21-13, and in the replay thus far, they have been 23-11 in games Fergie has started. So here go our lineups. Leading off for Cincinnati in center field, Pete Rose. Bobby Tolan bats second and right. Alex Johnson in left, Tony Perez at third, Johnny Bench is catching, Lee May at first, Tommy Helms at second, Woody Woodward at short, and on the mound for the Cincinnati Reds, Jerry Arrigo. And Arrigo in 1969 had a record of 4-7, a 4.15 ERA. For your Cubbies, leading off Don Kessinger at short, Glenn Beckert at second, Billy Williams in left, Ron Santo at third, Ernie Banks at first, Jim Hickman in right, Randy Hundley behind the plate, Don Young in center, and of course Fergie himself on the mound. We are ready to go. Fans are in their seats. Umpire play ball. Pete Rose steps in and first pitch. And Fergie starts it off tough, and 66 tough is going to be a ground ball down to shortstop. So Beckert takes care of Rose, and we are underway. One down. Next up, Bobby Tolan. And Tolan, that's going to be a tough result as well. 13, swing and a miss. Fergie strikes him out. Strikeout number 1 for Jenkins. And that brings up Cincinnati left fielder Alex Johnson. Here comes the pitch, and tough again. And Fergie starting out throwing BBs, but this is going to be a single as Johnson fights it off. Drives that into right field, and the Cincinnati Reds have the first hit and base run of the game. 2 down for the cleanup batter, Tony Perez. Another tough result, and that's going to be a ground ball to Beckert again. And he's going to go the short way to Kessinger for the force out. So Reds get a hit, leave 1. We head to the bottom of the first inning. No score, and Kessinger set to lead it off for the Cubs. And in today's 7th inning fun fact, we're going to do a little dead ball diary and talk about Noodles Hahn, who was a pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds around the turn of the century and considered actually at his time during his 4 prime years to be one of the best in the game. So we'll talk about him later on as Arrigo set to pitch to Kessinger, and Kessinger is going to be a patient result. He drives that down the line, and that is going to be down in the corner. Kessinger around first into second, and a leadoff double down the left field line. So the Cubbies in business, runner in scoring position to start this one off. Second baseman Glenn Beckert up, and another patient result. And Beckert, he's going to single, and again going off the fast action cards for runner advancement. And it's going to be a line drive into left field, and runner on second scores. So Kessinger comes home with the first run of the game as Beckert comes through with the RBI single, and Fergie's got a 1-0 lead. And if you've been following this replay, a lot of times that is not much less than he needs to win the game. So another patient result for Arrigo. And 62, that's going to be a ground ball down to shortstop. And 7, that is above Billy Williams and in between, so that'll be a force out. So Beckert retired at second base, and Williams on fielder's choice at first base, 1 down. And Ron Santo, the Cubbies cleanup hitter, steps up. And 10 going to be a ballpark result, and that'll be in play. Oops. So Santo and 12 in play against the left-hander. That's going to be a single. So runner advancement there. That is a sharp line drive, and runner on first base advances one. So Cubbies, first and second, one down, and Arrigo struggling early in this one, much to the delight of the hometown fans, as Mr. Cubby himself, Ernie Banks, steps in, and another ballpark result, and that is going to be wheelhouse. So Banks, big swing, and again against the lefty, 54, and that is driven deep and far into the night as it clears the left field wall. A 3-run home run, and Cubbies off to a fast start in this one, and 4 runs in the first inning. That is probably all Fergie's going to need to get the victory here. And that's a huge clout by Ernie Banks. Gave that a rocket ride. Bringing up Jim Hickman. Rigo trying to maintain composure, and 6 is going to be in play. Ground ball down to shortstop. So Woodward takes care of Hickman, and that brings up the Cubbies catcher, Randy Hundley. 2 outs, bases clear. And 5, yet another patient result, and this will be a fly ball into center field. And coming in to take care of that is Pete Rose, and the side is finally retired. But the Cubbies strike for 4 runs on 4 hits right out of the gate. And that is going to put Cincinnati in a big deficit, as Fergie, off the top of my head, I think he's given up 4 runs, allowed 4 runs or more, only 3 times out of 34 starts. I'd have to go back and check, but he's still going to be tough. And speaking of tough, 42 to Johnny Bench, and swing and a miss. Fergie with a slider. Bench goes down. Jenkins' second strikeout here as we get the second inning underway. Bringing up the slugging first baseman Lee May. Fergie gets assigned the pitch, patient, and 80. It's going to be a fly ball into shallow center field, and coming in to take care of that is Young. 2 quick outs in the second. As Fergie looking relaxed on the field, or the hill as he should, with a 4-run lead. 7 is going to be another in-play result, and for Tommy Helms, it's going to be a fly ball into right field. So Hickman takes care of that. 3 up, 3 down go the Reds. We are heading to the bottom of the second. 4-0. Cubbies in control early in this one, as Don Young set to step in against Arrigo, and it's going to be another patient result. Arrigo's been all over that. Ground ball down to shortstop, and Woodward whips that across the diamond to May. We have 1 down. As Fergie steps into a nice round of applause from the Wrigley faithful. Comes a pitch from Arrigo, and 8, and finally a tough result for Arrigo, and Fergie overmatched, goes down swinging on that. Fergie's actually had a decent offensive performance throughout this replay. Hitting actually just a little bit over 400. And 6 going to be an in-play result, and Kessinger gets a hold of that, and he's going to have his second double of the game. This one in the gap in left center. So 2-out double for Kessinger, and Cubbies in business again. Bringing up Glenn Beckert, and last time he drove a single to bring home Kessinger. Let's see if he can repeat that act. And 5 is going to be patient, 55. No such luck this time. It's a ground ball down to second base. 4-3 on the putout. Cubbies waste a 2-out double by Kessinger, but lead this 4-0 as we head to the top of the third. And Jenkins set to face shortstop Woody Woodward, and that's going to be a tough result. And Woodward's going to be a ground ball down to shortstop Kessinger. Backhand play, fires that across the diamond to Banks, and we have 1 out as Arrigo steps in. Looking to help himself at the plate, because he certainly has it on the mound at this point, and that is going to be an in-play result. And 86, a ground ball to Kessinger again, so 2 outs for Don, and back to the top of the order, Pete Rose steps in. Reds looking to get to Fergie here, and another in-play result, and Rose is going to do it. He drives that into the gap, and that is down in right center field as Rose heads around, head first slide into second ahead of the throw. And Reds in business now, 2 outs with a base runner in scoring position for Bobby Tolan. lefty-righty matchup, and tough result. And Tolan, it's going to be a fly ball, harmless fly ball into right field. And moving just a couple of steps to his left is Hickman, puts that away. So the Reds get a hit, leave a runner at second base. We're heading to the bottom of the third inning, 4-0, Cubbies in control. Sweet swing of Billy Williams set to lead it off for the Cubs in 11. That's going to be a defensive check. And on the defense check, that is going to be an error check on the shortstop. So shortstop for the Reds is Woodward, and he has an error rating of 3 and 89. Going to get to that and bobbles it, but gets it to first base in time to make the play, so one down. Williams back to the dugout, and that brings up Ron Santo, the Cubbies cleanup hitter. He singled and scored his first time up ahead of Ernie Banks' home run. And a patient result, and Santo is going to draw the one-out walk. So Big Ron trots down to first. And I'm not going to try and steal, as it's going to be a patient result yet again. And 36, that's going to be a single for Ernie. And he is ground ball up the middle, and runner on first advances 2 bases. So over to third goes Santo. And Arrigo in trouble again. Runners at the corners, 1 down for Jim Hickman. Hickman grounded out to short his first time up. And 11 going to be a defensive check, and it's going to be another error check on shortstop, this time 15. And Woodward not going to be quite so lucky there. That's going to be an error. And on the infield will be a 1 base error. So over to second goes Banks. Hickman at first on the E6, and coming in to score the unearned run, no RBI, is Santo. So Cubbies extend their lead to 5-0, and one more hit, and Reds are going to get bullpen action going here. 6 going to be in play, and 37 to Hundley. That's going to be a ground ball back to Arrigo, and 6 on the double play is within both fielders' ratings, so it'll be a 1-6-3 double play, and Arrigo out of the inning. But not before the Cubbies get a hit and a run. Leave a couple of left, and error sandwiched in there as well as we head to the top of the 4th inning. Cubs 5, Reds 0. Alex Johnson set to lead it off for Cincinnati. Fergie pitching comfortably with that nice lead. A ballpark check, that's wheelhouse though, and Johnson gets the right-hander. He's got a little bit of pop, and 69, no, it's going to be a fly ball to the track. We're pulling that in as Young. Gave it a ride, but right to the deepest part of Wrigley, and was not able to get it out of here. 1 down. As a disappointed Johnson heads back, he missed his pitch. 6, another tough result, and 60. That's going to be a single for Tony Perez, so 3rd hit of the day for the Reds. As Perez takes a wide turn at first, heads back. Johnny Bench can cut into that deficit with 1 swing of the bat. And 5, that's going to be a patient result, and Bench is going to draw the base on balls. So Fergie, maybe a little bit too relaxed here in the 4th inning as the Reds, runners on first and second, 1 down. Lee May the batter, and 4, that's a ballpark result again, and another wheelhouse result, and May, he's got a stroke, he swings, 82. Just missed it. Anything 80 below would have been good, but that's going to be a fly ball into center field. And again, May missed his pitch, got under it, runners hold. 2 down, and that could be a huge at-bat in this game as Tommy Helm steps up. And 4, yet another ballpark result. This is going to be in play, however. And 25 in play, and that is going to be a single. So grounder up the middle, and runners advance 2 bases. So the Reds are finally on the board. Coming in to score is Perez. And over to third goes Johnny Bench. RBI single for Tommy Helms, and that cuts the lead to 5-1. And brings up shortstop Woody Woodward. So Woodward, a defensive check, and that is going to be a range check on the pitcher. And Fergie, he has a range of C. And 54, he's going to make a nice stab at that and whip it over to first base to get out of the inning. 1-3 on the putout, but the Reds plate a run on a couple of hits. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning. 5-1, Cubs in the lead, and Don Young set to lead off against Arrigo. And for the Reds, even though it is early, they're going to get some action going in their bullpen. George Culver, the right-hander, up and throwing. And he is going to be joined out there by a little bit too early for Clay Carroll. He's going to be joined out there by Wayne Granger. So two righties warming up for the Reds, and bottom of the fourth inning, stepping up is Don Young. Here comes the pitch from Arrigo. And 7, yet again a patient result. It's going to be a shallow fly ball into center field, and Pete Rose, short run, pulls that in, 1 down. Fergie steps up. And Fergie, that's going to be an in-play result, and Fergie, he's going to drive that into the gap in left center field. Heading around first base, third double of the game for the Cubbies as Fergie rakes his opponent. Yet another hit for Jenkins, who's now hitting in the 2 teens in this replay. And tough result for Arrigo to Kessinger, 38 and 38. Kessinger's got his third double of the game, and coming in to score is Jenkins. And Arrigo, if he gets out of this inning, is not going to be in the game after the 4th, as he'll be pinch hit for in the next inning. Glenn Beckert up 1 down, runner on second base, tough, and 57. And Arrigo, ground ball down to second base. That's going to move Kessinger to third, 4-3 on the putout. So 2 down now. Cubbies runner at third base for sweet swinging Billy Williams. And Williams, another patient result. He's been in that column all day long. This will be a ground ball to third, however. And easy play there for Tony Perez. So side is retired, but not before the Cubbies tack on yet another. It is 6-1 through 4. And in the 5th inning, we're going to get a pinch hitter. George Culver is going to be the new pitcher for the Reds. So Arrigo, in real life, he pitched fairly well in this game. Not quite the case here, as the Cubs absolutely rake him. 8 hits, and they get to him for 6 runs, 5 of them earned. And tack onto that a single walk and a single strikeout. And a very costly home run. So Culver is going to take over, and Culver appeared in 32 games, 13 starts in 1969, had a 5-7 record, and a 4.26 ERA, as Arrigo is going to help himself to the shower. And pinch hitting for the Reds, we will have the switch hitting Darrell Chaney. So Chaney will be batting left-handed. Fergie set to go. Here comes the pitch, and 10. That'll be an in-play result, as that's going to be a pop fly into shallow left field. Kessinger ranges out there, pulls it in, 1 quick out. And Chaney, his day done, heads back to the bench, back to the top of the order. Pete Rose, the batter. And Rose today, he is 1 for 2. He has a double. Here comes a pitch for Fergie, and that's going to be tough. Ground ball down to Kessinger. Whips it across the banks, 2 outs, and Bobby Tolan, the batter. Tolan today is struck out and flown out to right field. And yet another ballpark result, and this will be in the left-handed hitter. That's going to be a in-play result. So Fergie's dodged some bullets with a ballpark result, 36, and that is the pop fly into foul territory in first, and Ernie Banks near the stands pulls that in. 3 up, 3 down go the Reds. We are halfway through this one. 6-1 Cubs in the lead. And Alex Johnson will be the batter. I'm sorry, Santo will be the batter facing Culver. And that'll be an in-play result, and a fly ball into deep left field. Going back close to the track to pull that in is Alex Johnson. So Johnson not the batter, but on the putout. 1 down for Ernie Banks. Culver kicks, delivers, and tough, 65. going to be a ground ball down to second base. So Helms to May, and 2 quick outs for Culver here as Jim Hickman steps up. Wheelhouse result, and 40. Hickman gets into this, and that ball is a no-doubter. To the back and almost out of the park. A solo home run for Hickman, and Cubbies extend that lead to 7-1. Hickman, channeling Led Zeppelin, put that ball on the stairway to heaven as the Cubbies extend their lead. Randy Hundley, the batter, defensive check. And that's going to be an error check on the center fielder. And out in center field is Rose. And Rose, he is a solid defensive outfielder, gets to that easily, puts it away, and side is retired. But not before the Cubbies strike yet again. So we are through 5, and Chicago leads this 7-1. Alex Johnson set to lead it off against Fergie. And wheelhouse for Fergie and Johnson, and you can kiss that goodbye as well. The wind is blowing out in Wrigley as the Reds, their second run of the game, as Johnson out in left field for the Cubbies. Williams didn't even move. He just turned his head and watched that fly out. As Johnson touches them all, brings up Tony Perez. Third home run of this ball game, and another ballpark result, and another wheelhouse result, and Perez, another home run, and that's onto Waveland Avenue. Back-to-back jack for the Reds, and the Cincinnati 9 is cutting into this lead. That makes it 7-3 now, as Fergie is disgusted with himself. Johnny Bench steps up, looking to make it 3 in a row. And 10, that'll be an in-play result. Instead, a fly ball into center field with plenty of room to pull this in for Young. So first out of the inning, Lee May the batter. Cincinnati, they do have the bats to climb back into this in a hurry. And it's going to be a tough result to May. 53, swing and a miss, struck him out with a high heat. May slams the bat on the plate, heads back to the dugout. 2 down for Tommy Helms. Helms has the Reds' other RBI in this game, and 7, that's going to be an in-play result, and a sharp single into left field, so 2-out single for May, or Helms. And Cincinnati will not go away as Woody Woodward steps up. Here comes the pitch, and another in-play result, and 3. That's going to be driven down the line. It's going to be extra bases, and deep drive off the wall. Having to hold up at third base, however, is Helms. So the Reds in business. They can cut this to 2 with a base hit here, and we're going to have yet another pinch hitter as Culver's day is done. Culver went a single inning, gave up 1 hit, 1 run. Did not walk or strike out anybody. So Wayne Granger will be the next pitcher for the Reds. And going to the bench, Cincinnati is going to call on Jimmy Stewart as the pinch hitter. Stewart, against right-handed pitching, hit .259 in 1969. So Jenkins, in a little bit of a jam, has the ball, gets the sign, kicks, delivers, and tough result, 41. And that's going to be yet another single. And sharp line drive into center field. A runner on second base advances, has a choice. So on second base for the Reds, Woodward is an 8. And in center field for the Cubbies, Young has an arm of 8. So he's definitely going to try and come around on that. And here comes the throw to the plate, the slide, the tag, and he is in there safely. So Fergie now has seen his once promising lead evaporate. A 2-run single by pinch hitter Jimmy Stewart. And Cincinnati has closed this deficit down to 7-5, top of the order. And the Cubbies, they're going to get some action going in their bullpen as well. Fergie, I talked about how he hadn't been really battered around much. Spoke out of turn there, as up in the pen for the Cubs, Don Notabart and Rich Nye, the science guys, start to warm up. Top of the order, Pete Rose, runner on first base, 2 down. Fergie looking to get out of the inning without any further damage. And here comes a pitch, and for ballpark again. Fergie's been all on the ballpark today. That will be an in-play result, however, as Pete Rose, 22. And 22, that is going to be another base hit. As Rose, soft blooper into short right field, and that is going to advance the runner to second base. So first and second, and up now is Bobby Tolan. He's the 9th red to bat in this inning. And yet another ballpark result, and this will be another in-play result for Tolan. And finally, Fergie's going to get out of the inning, as that's a short fly ball into center field. Young comes in, makes the catch, and the Cubbies are out of the inning. But Fergie, a minor collapse. The Reds tally a total of 4 runs on 6 hits. And they have cut this deficit to 7-5. And Fergie is probably going to be his last inning. He has gotten through 6. Yeah, we're going to pinch hit for Fergie after this. So Don Young leading it off for the Cubbies against Granger. And 5 will be an in-play result. That's a ground ball down to second base, 1 down. Let's close the books on Fergie here. He went 6 innings in this one. And a very uncustomary day for Jenkins. Started out good, but he ended up giving up a total of 10 hits. And 5 runs, every single one of them earned. Gave up 2 long balls. And walked a total of 1 and struck out 3. So very uncharacteristic day for Fergie, as Notabart will be the next Cubbies pitcher that we will see today. But Fergie still in line to get the victory in this one if the bullpen can hold it down. So pinch hitting now for the Cubbies against Granger. And we're going to bring up Ken Rudolph. So Granger has the ball. He's ready to go. Here comes the pitch. And 6. That's going to be an in-play result. And Rudolph, sharp single back up the middle. So Cubbies looking to get some insurance now. And back to the top of the order for Don Kessinger. Kessinger 3 for 3, 3 doubles, RBI, run scored. He's having a day. And 7, that's going to be an in-play result. And Kessinger, short fly ball into left field. And coming in on the run, will he get to that? And Alex Johnson makes a nice basket catch at the knees, 2 down. Scampering back to first base goes Ken Rudolph, Glenn Becker the batter. Wheelhouse, and that is going to be a big swing, but a shallow result, as just short of the warning track. Pete Rose is going to get to that and pull it in. Side is retired, so we're through 6. And we've got a ball game, folks. Cubbies 7, Cincinnati Reds 5. So Notabart starts off facing Alex Johnson, who started the 6th inning with a home run. And 9, that'll be a tough result, and ground ball down to Kessinger. So Don gets Alex, 1 down, as Tony Perez the batter. Perez also homered in the last inning. And 11, that's going to be a defensive check. And error check on third base, and Santo, he's going to get to that easily, make the play. He has an error rating of C. So 2 quick outs for Notabart, and that brings up Johnny Bench. Johnny Bench on the day is 0 for 2. He's struck out, flied out, and drawn a walk. 7, that'll be an in-play result. And Bench, this time ground ball down to Santo again. And that's a 2-hopper, whips it across the diamond, 3 up, 3 down as we go into the 7th inning stretch. And today we're going to talk a little bit about Noodles Hahn. And Hahn was a left-handed pitcher. He actually started playing professionally at the age of 16 and ended up in the Western League playing for Detroit. And even though his record there was not spectacular, over 2 seasons he was a 3 or 4 games under 500. He was still recommended by Charles Comiskey to Gary Herman, the owner of the Reds, who purchased him. And Hahn actually went on to win 100 games by the age of 24. And the only pitcher in baseball history in the modern era who has bettered that mark, getting to 100 wins quicker, is Bob Feller. So he was in pretty good company there. And pitching for some mediocre to poor Reds teams too, around the turn of the century. But folks who compared the two, who were around and offered their opinions, said that Hahn, his fastball was comparable to Rube Waddell's, and later pitchers like Walter Johnson and Smokey Joe Wood, they rated him close to, if not equal to, those other 3 pitchers. So he definitely had an explosive left arm, and held the record actually for strikeouts in a game by a National League pitcher with 16, which stood until Dizzy Dean broke that in the 1930s. So he looked on pace for a promising, if not Hall of Fame career. And in terms of his nickname, Noodles, he stated in an interview he did not know how he got the game or the nickname. And there are several stories from people that knew him or were present around him when he grew up that offered versions. One was that he, obviously the easiest one, loved noodle soup. The other one was that on a daily basis he would take noodle soup to his father, who worked in a factory, and henceforth was given the name Noodles. And another version that he would take noodle soup to his grandmother. So several versions, all basically coming back to some tie-in to noodle soup, even though, again, Hahn stated he did not know how he got the nickname, but he was tagged with it as a child, and it stuck throughout his life. And after 1903, he started to decline. And officially back then, they obviously didn't have the diagnostic equipment to look at arm injuries, but he was given the informal diagnosis of a dead arm. And basically 3 years, by the age of 27, he was out of Major League Baseball. He only won 30 games after the age of 24 after such a promising start. So likely cause, obviously, either a rotator cuff or possibly a UCL, the Tommy John injury with that elbow ligament, would probably be the 2 most likely causes for his arm just to totally or go dead basically over the course of a single season. But before that happened, was on pace for what should have been, or probably would have been, a Hall of Fame career, just cut tragically short. He did hang around the game in some capacity, scouting and coaching with the Reds. Would often pitch batting practice for them as well. And after baseball, he had, while he was a player still, had acquired his degree in veterinary medicine and went on to have a very successful career as a veterinarian. So there you have it, our 7th inning fun fact, Dead Ball Diaries, on Frank Noodles Hahn. So bottom of the 7th inning, sweet swinging Billy Williams set to go. Wayne Granger on the hill, and tough results. Sweet swinging Billy drives that into right field, going back in front of the track, pulling it in his Bobby Tolan. 1 down. And Ron Santo, the batter. Santo on the day is 1 for 2. Walk, single. He scored twice. And Granger, that's going to be an in-play result. Santo, fly ball into right field again. So second put out of the inning out there for Tolan. 2 down for Ernie Banks, who has a home run today. Wheelhouse Banks, big cut, and that is going to be a fly ball deep to center field, going back, and Rose 2 steps in front of the wall, pulls it in, 3 up, 3 down, side retired. So Ernie almost had his second of the day there. Instead, a nice play by Pete Rose and Lee May. Leading off the 8th for the Reds. Here we go. Notabart on the hill. Another defensive check, and that is going to be bad, whatever it is. Range check in the center fielder, and that is going to get down instead, and that will be a single. So Young not fast enough to get to that as Lee May starts things off. Rich Nye is back up and loosening up in the Cubbies bullpen. Here comes a pitch. And 6, that's going to be a patient result. And 0-5 going to be a base on balls. So the Reds in business here in the top of the 8th inning. Their first 2 runners on. Shortstop Woody Woodward up next. And it's going to be a tough result, 67. And a fly ball into center field. And that will bring up the pitcher spot again. So with 1 down, Cincinnati will go to their bench and call on Pat Corrales. And Corrales, who went on to have a pretty good career as a major league manager. And Clay Carroll will be the next pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds. So Granger had a good outing. He goes 2 innings, only gives up a single hit. No runs, no walks, strikeouts, or home runs. Carroll will finish it up for the Reds. And for Notabart, he is still going to be out on the hill. So Corrales, he hit .250 against right-handed pitching in 1969. Here we go. And 6, that's going to be a patient result, and that'll be a ground ball down to shortstop, and that is going to be a double play. So 6-4-3, double play, and the Reds are turned away. After a hit and a walk, they leave 1. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Your score, Chicago 7, Cincinnati 5, and Clay Carroll set to start the 8th, pitching to Jim. And a miss, and Hickman strikes out to start the 8th inning for the Cubs. So 1 down, and Randy Hundley the batter. Carroll kicks, delivers a defensive check, and this is going to be an error check on first base. And Lee May, he's going to get to that and makes the play, takes himself 3 unassisted. 2 down, and that brings up Cubs center fielder Don Young. And this will be an in-play result. And 27, and Young singles back up the middle. So the Cubbies, a 2-out base hit, looking to get some insurance against Clay Carroll, and we are going to have another pinch hitter as Notabart is going to be done. So Notabart will go 2 innings, gives up a hit and a walk, no runs, and he does successfully hold the lead for Fergie, which means we will have our closer coming in. And that will be Phil Regan. Pinch hitter now. And cousin of Greg, I don't know, sounds good. Paul Popovich. So Popovich, he was the regular second baseman early in this replay, and lately it's been Beckert that's been getting the majority of the starts there. And, hold on. Let me get it together. Holy smoke. All right, Popovich to hit off of Clay Carroll. 2 outs, runner on first base. Bottom of the 8th, Cubs lead 7-5. And ballpark and wheelhouse. Unfortunately, Popovich, not a big power hitter, so 36 or less though. And 53, nope, that is going to be a pop fly. And shortstop. Taking that in shallow left field for the final out is Woodard. So Cubbies get a hit, leave 1. We're heading to the top of the 9th inning. And your score, Chicago 7, Cincinnati 5. And on to try and shut this down for the Cubbies, Phil Regan, who had 17 saves in 1969. And he'll face the top of the order. Looking to nail it down for Fergie, and tough to Pete. And 35, that is going to be a single. So Pete Rose. Hope still abounds for the Reds as Rose leads off the 9th inning with a single. And we're not even going to roll for a steal. Stealing in this game, I'm just making, I guess, managerial decisions, trying to be practical about it. 70 on the tough result to Bobby Tolan. That's going to be a ground ball down to shortstop. And 8, that will be a fielder's choice. So 6-4, Rose is a race, fielder's choice, Tolan. on at first base. One down for Alex Johnson. Alex has a home run in this game, and one now will tie it. Here we go. 4, that's going to be in play, 38. And Johnson, a big cut at that. Instead, it's going to be a harmless ground ball down to first base. And 4, 1-6, and or some 3-6-3. Ernie Banks using that time at shortstop, and that is a game-ending double play. So that is it. The Reds, 1 hit, no runs, no errors, nobody left in the 9th, and that is your ball game, folks. The Cubs hang on. They have built a big lead in this one, going up 7-1. Reds clawed back to 7-5 with a 4-run sixth off of Fergie. But coming on to keep the Reds in check was Notabart for 2 innings, and then Phil Regan for the save. And that is your ball game. So, final line score for the Reds. 5 runs on 12 hits, 1 error. And Cubbies, 7 runs on 11 hits, no errors. Your winner, Fergie Jenkins, and he moves to 23-9. Not his best outing for sure. Gave up a couple of bombs. Not the usual strikeout number, but a win is a win. Loser will be Jerry Arrigo. And getting the save for the Cubbies is Phil Regan. Offensively, your MVPs of the game for the Cubs. Got to go to Mr. Cubby, Ernie Banks. Ernie Banks went 2 for 4 in this one with a home run, 3 RBIs, and a run scored. So there you have it. Start number 35 in the books in the home stretch of our 1969 Fergie Jenkins replay. And as always, thank you for watching, and hope you enjoyed the ball game and our 7th inning fun facts on Frank Noodles Hahn. We'll be back tomorrow. Probably going to try and get in an inside pitch game of our 1980, a look-in game of our 1980 AL replay tomorrow on the channel, and a welterweight fight too. If there's anyone you'd like to see in terms of the welterweights, and again, the Glory Days Boxing welterweight set, which was released just over a week ago, just leave a comment. Looking at doing potentially so many good matchups, possibly a battle of the Sugar Ray Leonard and Sugar Ray Robinson. I would also like to get another Tommy Hearns fight. Hearns definitely one of my top 3 or 4 favorite fighters of all time. So may look at doing a Hearns fight. Actually, a Hearns against Henry Armstrong might be an intriguing matchup too. So we'll decide on that, but definitely an inside pitch game tomorrow from the AL replay. So thank you very much for watching and supporting the channel. Please remember to support our other content creators, and hopefully this fills a little bit of the sports void right now, but a lot of good creators out there. Rob exclamation point doing wrestling, NPG3 baseball, Al Red Sox fan, of course, big Strat-o-matic and outside of the park baseball 21, OOTP 21. He's got some games up with that. Both creators also good supporters of Glory Days Boxing. They have that on the channel as well. And other members out there, ID Jester, he does everything, different video games, strategy, hack and slash, has some baseball games up there as well. Tabletop Delaware, Chris, good content creator, does baseball games, also has done chess, family chess battles. And other ones are missing, Higher Ground Gaming, Clinton Parks, Philip Reynolds, check his channel out. He's trying to build his channel up, so give him a look and please subscribe. And I know I'm forgetting someone, Dave Baseball Demos, Tabletop Baseball Plus, The Earl and Earl Show, and of course the PlaySpace weekly videos. Check them out. A lot of great games for Play.com as well. And again, Payoff Pitch you can find at SidelineStrategy.com. Joe Bryan did an excellent job with this game. Again, I've mentioned in earlier videos, this and Inside Pitch are far and away my favorite baseball games. Both 1A, 1B, however order you want to put them, both do things well and play a great game of tabletop baseball. And also you can find Glory Days Boxing at SidelineStrategy.com as well. So until next time, keep rolling for those fences, and whatever you do, just keep on rolling. We'll see you. Hope everybody is doing well, and stay safe. Later.